Hi there, actor friends. It's Michael Kostroff. This week, my subject is in the category of career. I want to talk to you a little bit about career consideration for you, um, and it has to do with taking up space. Uh, as you might know about me, I had big challenges in the area of self-esteem and worthiness, and I was nervous presenting myself. I had a lot of stuff to get past and mental health issues along my journey. I have really grown um, in the area of being willing to take up space, which doesn't mean throwing your weight around or being an asshole. It also means not being a tiny little worm either. So I've heard the way that a lot of you interact with casting people and or agents. And here's the thing, to some extent, you tell people how to treat you. So if you continue to present yourself like a little beggar person or someone who's their employee or someone who snuck in the back door and doesn't really belong there, that is the kind of attitude you'll often get back. It doesn't mean that they're abusive. It just means that they think of you as somebody that they can push around, you know, or that they can treat with less than a ton of respect. Again, I want to emphasize it's not the answer to be like, hey, you don't know who I am. I'll tell you things. It's not that. It's what I call gracious strength, holding your value in a way that is respectful to the other person, but treats them like a colleague. It makes everybody more comfortable. It really does. It's why I am so adamant that you should break yourself of the habit of constantly apologizing and constantly asking for permission. In my acting class, we have a virtual fine. Like if somebody says, "Can I ask a question?" I say no. But they say, "I have a question." And they go in ahead and answer it. You know, um, and yeah, let me be really honest about this. My career has also progressed to the point where I feel more comfortable taking up a little bit more space because people are able to, they sort of allow for that from me. But I think in general, we cast ourselves too small. If you have an agent and you're a client, I think it's a good idea to sort of train yourself away from saying, "I'm sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are. If you could just, do you have like 30 seconds for me? I promise not to take up too much of your time. I just had a question. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you." It's like this is exhausting language from the other side. To be on the receiving end, it's exhausting. Um, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I want to chat for a few minutes. Let me give me a call when you get a chance." That's not taking up too much space. That's not throwing your weight around. That's just saying, "Oh, I got something to talk to you about." If you do have something to talk to them about, um, um, and this business with casting directors there's so much. Oh, sorry. I the other day I had one where I had a Zoom session, and I had started it and then gone off somewhere to get something, and meanwhile, the casting director had come on the screen. I did not go, "Oh, sorry, I just had to," I said, I started my Zoom without being on camera. That's, leaves a little mystery, as opposed to being so apologetic. It's exhausting. So I want to encourage you to think about what it means for you at your stage of career to appropriately take up some space. That means presenting yourself as somebody who deserves to be in the room, not inflating that, but recognizing that if you're a professional actor, a casting director needs to see professional actors in order to pick the right choice. Therefore, you belong there. If you have an agent and you're a client, you're entitled to have a relationship with that agent because you're partners, you're business partners. And by the way, it's an interesting thing. We always think in terms of auditioning for agents. We actually hire agents. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know because there are so many of us, and they are in the deciding position most of the time. But we actually are the client. So put that in your brain as you think about all this stuff. Um, I hope that this makes sense. I know I'm speaking in sort of abstract terms when I say take up space, but I think it really means sort of catching all those little mental tics you've developed where you make yourself tiny in a way that's not appropriate or accurate or a reflection of reality. I guess that's what I'm saying is keep checking yourself for those things because they um, I think as a tribe we actors are inclined to undervalue ourselves and present ourselves with less than appropriate value. My thoughts this week. That's it. Um, and I mean, I'm still surprised when I hear myself sort of taking up space. It still is like, ooh, can I do this? Because as I always say, inside I'm just a little boring potato. Uh, but um, but I find it makes people more comfortable actually when you act like you belong in the room. All right, tell me your thoughts. Love to hear them. And as always, I invite you to share these with people, with fellow actors, because I think people tend to like these little videos of mine. And also feel free to send in questions. I always love them. And I will see you next week. Bye.